He remembers a white light. And then this. It's just wrong. It should all be gone. All these people should be dead. He's confused. He doesn't know who he is. Scotty? Is that his name? No, that's not quite right. The police approach the man, and on instinct, Logan fights back. They tase him, but it just makes him mad. They shoot him, and then he remembers everything. The world isn't like this anymore. It moved on, and so did he. The villains got their act together, butchered everyone, and Banner was worse than anybody. Logan did horrible things too, but he survived, like an animal. The police look on, awed. They can't believe what they are seeing. This man is too old to be who they think he is. He runs past them and easily escapes. It takes him a while, but he's eventually able to sniff out an apartment that he is sure is empty. Inside, he learns the year is 2015, a few years before everything went bad. He figures he is back in time, before... Logan wonders how all this is possible. He can barely even think straight until he sees a hat that reminds him of his son, Scotty. In the wasteland, father and son once went to get their tractor repaired. They visited a down-shield helicarrier, run on behalf of the Hawks by a villain named the Black Butcher. Logan wanted to trade some of his wife's jam for some spare parts to repair the tractor, but the Butcher demanded that he also get Scotty's hat. When Logan refused, the man hit his boy. This was almost enough to get Logan to fight back, but instead, he cooled down and left. On the way back home, Scotty asked why Logan lets them get pushed around like that. His father explained how it would only have led to further retaliation by the Hulk gang. Besides, he's just one man. He can't change the world. Whatever happened, happened. Except it hasn't happened. Not yet. And then it hits him. There has to have been a reason behind all of this. This is a chance to make things right. And he knows just where to start. It doesn't take long for the old muscles to come back. He spent a lot of time in this city. Even after all these years, he still knows where to go. It isn't too hard to ask the right questions and find what he is looking for. The Black Butcher. Definitely the right guy. The Butcher is armed with an electronic weapon strapped to his arm, but Logan cuts off a limb without hesitation. The gangster begs for mercy. He claims he hasn't done anything wrong, to which Logan replies that the Butcher is supervillain scum. He hit Scotty. The man panics and says he never met him or his son before, and Logan says now, he never will. His body hits the floor, and everything feels right. He knows peace he hasn't felt in a very long time. This is why he's here, to hunt. But the Butcher was small game, a warm-up. If he's really going to stop everything, he's going to have to tackle targets a whole lot bigger. Nobody knew how Banner went bad. Some say it was the radiation that turned him into the Hulk in the first place. All Logan knows is that whatever it was that kept Bruce Banner from becoming a monster died when the villains took over. Something snapped, and he went wild. He helped massacre his fellow heroes. Rumor has it that Banner was the one who snapped Thor's neck. However, Bruce was a good man. Once. His children, on the other hand. Logan thought if he kept his head down, he could avoid the wrath of the Hulks. He was wrong. Regrets. Regrets will eat you alive. There's nothing you can do to change the past. But that isn't true anymore. Logan is back, and it's time to set things right. It doesn't take him long to find his next target. He hears a news report that the Hulk is assisting in Manhattan with a major traffic accident. This isn't his first rodeo, and Wolverine knows that when it comes to the Hulk, you've got to come in strong. And it doesn't hurt to go for the legs. The Hulk cries out in pain but isn't afraid of a fight. However, he doesn't want to battle here, as there are too many people around. The Hulk tries to talk his opponent down, but this only serves to confuse Logan. This doesn't sound like Banner. and for a split second he hesitates. Then he remembers his family, and what this monster did to his children. The rest is easy. Another thing about fighting the Hulk, you gotta distract him first. Then you can go for the eyes. However, the Hulk is faster than Logan remembers, and he's able to slam Wolverine into the ground. Logan's healing factor isn't what it used to be. This fight has broken his body, and things aren't looking good. The Hulk shows some concern. This is Wolverine, but he's old and is badly injured. Maybe he needs to see a doctor? Now this really doesn't sound like Banner. The new Hulk confirms that Logan has the wrong guy, and introduces himself as Amadeus Cho. When Wolverine asks about Banner's location, Cho amusingly points out there's no way he'd tell him after all of this. Instead, he asks Logan to calm down and says they can figure things out together. Logan isn't ready for this and runs away. This is all wrong. Wolverine doesn't ever remember Banner not being the Hulk. Something's not right and he needs help. He realizes he's been punched all the way into Brooklyn and remembers that he knows somebody who lives here. Somebody he can trust. He can't believe he didn't think of this before. Once this was the only friend he had left in the world. Perhaps he can help. Lucky? Wolverine? Friend? Logan finds an arrow pointed at his face and assumes Barton is here. Once again, he's got the right hero, but the wrong person. With an arrow pointed at his head, Logan is greeted by Hawkeye. He recognizes her as the other Hawkeye, the one he doesn't know. She says her name is Kate Bishop, and that Clint Barton is away on a mission. He explains to her that he is from a future, which, surprisingly, Kate easily accepts. She's used to this sort of thing by now. So he tells her everything, about what happens to the heroes, about his kill list, and even that she's eventually going to die. He also tells her that Clint lives, but he will be blinded by a villain named Avalanche. Logan moves to leave, thanking her for her hospitality, but as he gets up, he passes out. Logan remembers a day he spent with his family, visiting a beach in the wasteland. He and his children were having fun in the water, when his daughter Jade cried out, saying she saw a monster in the ocean. So Logan dived into the deep in order to investigate, and found bones. The remains of those who died from the Battle of Atlantis. He knew it took place somewhere around here, and comments that he should have known better. Logan apologizes to his daughter, but reassures her that they are all dead. He promises her that nothing is ever going to hurt her, no matter what. Logan wakes up 33 hours later. Kate makes coffee for him, and after drinking it, Wolverine is feeling much better. While Logan was passed out, Kate had been investigating Logan's kill list. She has no idea where Banner is these days, but she was able to find Mysterio's last known location. Logan says he and Mysterio have a big score to settle, and Kate replies that they can go find him right now. Logan is surprised that she wants to help, but Bishop says she is bored and hasn't had a mission in weeks. Still, Wolverine refuses her offer, saying that he works alone, but Kate isn't going to accept this and insists on coming along. As they travel to their destination, Kate asks about the future. She asks if he knows who the female Thor is, as this has been bugging her for some time, but this just confuses Logan. He has no memory of a female Thor, but he brushes off this lapse in knowledge. Costumes are always changing, and Logan must have missed it this first time around. But Kate suddenly has some doubts about all of this. The female Thor has been around for several weeks now, and this is unlikely a thing Logan might have forgotten. And though Avalanche is supposed to blind Clint in the future, that villain is already dead. Again, Logan dismisses all of this. Like he said, he might have just not noticed Thor changing, and it could have been a different person calling himself Avalanche. But Kate is still worried and wants to take some time to figure things out. Logan isn't interested in this. He's had nothing but time. The heroes find two men playing some cards. Logan leaps into action, demanding to know where Mysterio is. Though they claim ignorance, Logan charges one of the men, cutting his arm clean off. Kate orders Logan to calm down, pointing out this is crazy and observing that these people clearly don't know anything about Mysterio. She threatens to take him down if Logan doesn't calm down, but Wolverine cuts her bow in half. Outraged, Kate punches Logan in the face before he pins her against the wall, claws out. Logan claims he's trying to save everyone, but Kate is not impressed. She says they're all still alive. They can help him now. He's not alone anymore. Logan ruefully states he'll always be alone and leaves. In a dark alleyway, he smells something familiar. Logan is knocked over by the lid of a trash can, which his attacker catches in midair. He then hears a voice. "You need to stand down, soldier. That's an order." This ain't right. This is some kind of trick. It's him, but it just can't be. Rogers. Kate Bishop arrives on the scene and warns Captain America that Logan is unstable, but the hero orders Hawkeye to stand down. He has this under control. Everything will be okay. However, Logan disagrees. This man cannot be Steve Rogers. He has no memory of the hero ever going old like this. Rogers finds this amusing, saying Wolverine should not be pointing fingers about being too old. He asks his friend to take a breath, and promises they can figure things out. They aren't going to take him anywhere! Logan dreams of his daughter Jade. He asks if everything is okay, but it's not. He let her die. He let them all die. Logan wakes up tied to a post. Rogers apologizes, but the mutant left him no choice. Smelling the air around him, Logan is surprised to find himself in Alberta. Rogers explains that this was Logan's home decades ago. The X-Men thought it was a fitting place for it, the thing that he was brought here to see. Rogers wants to take off Logan's restraints, but asks for his word that the mutant will behave. He agrees and is freed, but still doesn't believe a thing. He is certain this is the work of Mysterio, and that he is still in New York. He'll never fall for that trick again. Rogers is disappointed in this. The Wolverine he knew was an honorable man, but where Logan came from, honor is gone, just like everything else. Kate is outraged when Logan shatters yet another one of her bows, but Rogers still tries to hold back. He insists he is a friend, not a foe. They want to help. Logan quietly mutters about how he needs to fix things. He needs to stop the future. Everyone is going to die. Rogers glances at his shield and demands that Logan follow him. There's something he must see. Rogers wanted to break the news to Logan more easily, but the old man is just too stubborn. So they take him to a seemingly rustic cabin. Rogers flips a switch, and the heroes descend underground. There, Logan sees it. Himself. Or what's left of him. His body still encased in adamantium. This was not Logan's past. The Wolverine of this world is dead. The future he lived is not the future of this world. Logan admits he has no idea how he got here, and mentions how his family died. How he came from the worst kind of future, a nightmare. Logan's seen enough and moves to leave. Rogers wants to help the man, but Logan replies that if he wants to help, he needs to leave him alone. There's no place for him here. Wolverine is dead. Let him stay that way. Rogers can see in the man's eyes it is over. There's nothing left of the friend he once knew. Logan begins to travel across the country, now without any purpose or anything to fight for. Days turn into weeks, and soon, he realizes he has nothing left. His dream of stopping a future that doesn't exist is pointless. He finds himself wandering, waiting, but for what, he doesn't know. Until one day, he finds just what he's been looking for. Logan is surprised to encounter a sentinel, but is all too happy to pick a fight with a familiar enemy.
No, please don't hurt me!
These words surprise Wolverine, and he hears a familiar voice. He turns around and sees them. Storm and Iceman. It should be like seeing ghosts. But instead of feeling grief at their presence, the sight of them fills him with purpose. Spend too long worrying about the past or the future, and you forget the present. The past is gone, and tomorrow may very well bring what he fears more than anything else. But today It feels good to be alive. Hello and welcome to Comic Island. My name is Arden, and this is my recap and review of Old Man Logan, Berserker. So here we have the story of Old Man Logan's return to the Marvel Universe. This was actually going to be a video about issue 5 of the series. However, after reading that comic, I realized we had basically already finished the first story arc and moved on to the new story, Border Town, the next major arc that kicks off with issue 5. And while I like that comic and would recommend it, I don't think I'll be continuing with this coverage. In the immediate future, Joey's going to be tackling the X-Men with the Apocalypse War event, so for now this feels right for me and it will help make room in my schedule for the big event I'll be covering, Civil War 2. It also, in my mind, caps off my Old Man Logan coverage at a place I'm reasonably comfortable with. I've sort of made a trilogy of Old Man Logan content here on Comic Island, starting with the original story, followed up by the Secret Wars tie-in, and bringing Logan home, literally, with the 2016 series and its beginning arc. At each story, it feels like we've gotten a similar entry in terms of the basic plot. Each of these were road trips of sorts, with a different setting for each story. Berserker, which was less of a road trip and more of a walking around / getting punched into the next state trip, was an enjoyable read. I would recommend this story arc. It was fun, interesting, and paid off magnificently when it came to dealing with a lot of the content from the original Old Man Logan story. One thing I really like about the 2016 story is how effectively writer Jeff Lemire and artist Andrea Sorrentino were able to play off Logan's trauma and experiences from the original story. We see Logan not only haunted by the memory of his wife and children, but also by the memories of his original family, the X-Men and the other heroes of Earth. Not only does this lead to a lot of pointed flashbacks and dreams throughout this arc, it also informs us of a lot of his behavior in the present. The impression I get from this Logan is a man with PTSD. He's aggressively self-destructive and refuses to accept help from people who genuinely want to assist the man. At times, it's almost hard to read. Not because it's bad, but because it's so good at portraying Logan's current mindset that it can be a bit uncomfortable. But don't get me wrong, it's not a bad thing. Logan is exactly the sort of character that should make you feel on edge, and this comic does that very well. I also really like how we tackle the idea of Logan being in this world where his future is not guaranteed. This changes the story on its head quite nicely. Rather than Logan becoming a sort of Terminator ripoff while struggling to keep his future from happening, his future is already irrelevant. Banner is MIA, the original Logan is dead, and most of the villains who are supposed to go on to slaughter the heroes and take over the world are either dead, missing, or simply not on that trajectory anymore. That makes for some pretty interesting material overall. I would recommend this volume of Old Man Logan for these reasons. It's incredibly well made and just might be one of the better stories I have thus far reviewed on this channel. So thanks for watching. There's more content on the way here at Comic Island, so stay tuned for that, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep reading comics.